Welcome to the Not Move podcast. Tonight on the stage, we got myself, Atrain, we got Southgate and Jimmy breaking down this week's Tennessee Titans Denver Broncos showdown in Week One. Obviously, the Broncos came away with the victory. It was a 12-20 win. I'm just gonna kind of break down some of the key factors in this game. Jimmy, you're on mute, just so you know. All right, so I kind of wanted to just talk about the big breakdown of this game. This game was really close, and we got to see Cam Ward making his first career start. He obviously had to travel on the road to the Mile High City and play arguably the best defense in the league. The big takeaways from this game, right? I just want to break down some of the Tennessee Titans stats real quick. Cam Ward was 12 for 28 with 112 yards. He had zero passing touchdowns. He didn't turn the ball over, so he didn't throw any picks, and he was sacked 6 times. Tony Pollard had 18 attempts, rushing attempts for 60 yards, and again, he had no touchdowns and a turnover. Calvin Ridley kind of was held in check by Patrick Surtain. He had 8 targets for 4 catches for 27 yards with no touchdowns. And that's pretty much all the scoring that came from the Tennessee Titans was from their field goal kicker. He was 4 for 4, and that was the 12 points there. The Tennessee Titans punted the ball 8 times. So that was the big takeaway from the Titans side. Jimmy, is there anything you really want to comment on your Titans, like as I broke down those stats?
Listen, some of those stats, like Cam Ward going 12 for 28, no passing touchdowns. Like, you might look at that and you're like, oh, he didn't have a good game. He had a good game if you were watching the game, because though some of those balls were just dropped by the receiver. There was a couple times where the receiver could have caught it and come up with a big play. I know Calvin Ridley had a couple of drops late in the game. I know he's getting guarded by PS2, but some of them were hitting him in his hands. Honestly, we got outcoached in that game, to be perfectly clear. Like, Sean Payton had 4 challenges, 4 overturned call. Like, I've never seen that before in my life, getting 4 challenges right, let alone 4 challenges in a single game. That was bizarre, but you know, good props to you. We were in the plus field territory 7 times, couldn't come away with a score. I blame the play calling. We weren't setting up Cam for any success. We were running the ball every chance we can get, and then when we were getting stuffed, we were doing obvious passing downs. We never passed the ball when it wasn't an obvious passing down. So, like, if you look at that 12 for 28, it kind of looks a little bit better when you realize you're going up against one of the best secondaries in the league, and they know you're going to throw the ball. But I mean, the defense played really hard. 4 turnovers on. I still think we have a top 10 defense. It was just kind of frustrating to see our offense do what they did. Um, the penalties also is what didn't help us at all. 12 penalties for 130 yards, more than what we had on offense. So it's you ain't gonna win a football game like that. But we go on to the next one.
Yep, agreed, Jimmy. I'm kind of a stats merchant, so I kind of like to break down the game like numbers wise. And then obviously we have the eye test. The eye test showed that Cam Ward is definitely a starter in this league. I liked what I saw from Cam Ward, especially since he didn't turn the ball over, right? He played a good game. When I break down these stats, you're going to be like, damn, it was a blowout, but it really wasn't. So first downs, Broncos had 20, Titans had 7, right? Third
Hmm.
downs, the Broncos were 6 for 15. The Titans were 2 for 14. Okay.
Hmm.
Total yards, the Tennessee Titans had 133 total yards. The Broncos had 317 total yards. Passing yards, Cam Ward had 62. Bo Nix had 166. Rushing yards, 71 for the Titans, 151 for the Broncos. And the turnover battle. Now, this is the thing, right? The Broncos turned the ball over 4 times. The Tennessee Titans turned the ball over 2 times. So if you look at football as a whole, usually if you lose the turnover battle, you're going to lose the game. In this case, it didn't happen. But I think what really hurt you guys was the 131 penalty yards, right? A
Hmm.
lot of
Hmm.
penalties. And
Yeah.
I get that it's week one, but when you have 133 total yards and you have 131 penalty yards, you just negated pretty much all of the pluses to minuses,
Hmm.
right? So, I mean, when you have that amount of penalties, I feel like you're not going to win the game. I kind of just wanted to break down a little bit more on the Broncos side. Is there anything else you want to add before I break down some of the Broncos stats?
I mean, not re I just wanted to say, like, Alec Eilman, rookie receiver, showed up a little bit. Gunnar Helm had a couple good catches. Like, we definitely showed spurts, but like you were saying, the 2 for 7 on or 2 for 14 on third down, most of those, like, if you look at the play before, it was like on those second downs, most of them were a second down run, and we would get stopped half the time. So we'd have to go like that's like I was talking about earlier, like for like obvious passing downs. Like you're not going to succeed very much against a top defense in the NFL like that. So that just goes back into my point. But yeah, all I got really.
All right. So my major takeaway on the Broncos side of things, right, is Bo Nix threw the ball 40 times, right? So the Broncos were super pass heavy in the beginning of this game. And I think with the offseason acquisitions that we made towards the running game with RJ Harvey and JK Dobbins, they didn't really capitalize on those two particular running backs. I feel like this is what's crazy about the Broncos, right? We have a three back system right now. We have
Hmm.
RJ Harvey, JK Dobbins, and Tyler Bidet. Literally, this is the spread, right? RJ Harvey had 6 carries for 70 yards, and J.K. Dobbins had 16 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown, right? So those are
Hmm.
two feature backs, right? But I want to like hit back on the Bo Nix thing, right? So Bo Nix was 25 for 40, 176 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, and he got a sack fumble. So Bo Nix alone turned the ball over 3 times. And
Hmm.
we really gotta he's got to play better in a whole. And here's the thing: statistically, Bo Nix doesn't start strong, right? And against Seattle last year, Bo Nix definitely didn't start strong, right? So I get that it's the first week of the season, but Bo Nix has to be better. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, with that like with your offense, like our run defense was playing pretty solid. RJ Harvey really only had that one big run, and that's where he got the majority of his yards. Like he busted like a 30 or 40 yard run. I thought he was going in, but uh, we ended up getting him out of bounds. J.K. Dobbins had a good. We were just kind of stopping J.K. Dobbins. He had that one run at the end for the end zone. That was pretty clean. I couldn't be mad at it. Uh, they did all they could do. I mean, y'all scheme in the first quarter, like that one offensive play call y'all had where y'all hit Troy out on the out route thing, and y'all had like blockers in like it was almost like a screen, like a inverted screen pass where you had like I don't know, it looked really good. I was like, I can't even be mad at that.
All right,
Y'all schemed really
Southgate.
well.
Southgate, do you got anything to hit on Bo Nix or our running game, the triple back system?
I liked our running game. I liked the way it looked. And one thing I want to say about Cam Ward, my hat's off to him because even though the stats weren't there, Jimmy, uh, the kid definitely looked like he belonged there.
Oh
He
yeah,
didn't look like he was afraid to play. He didn't look like anything like he didn't look shaken up. You know, he definitely looked like he was NFL ready, even though the
yeah,
stats were not there. So anyone who sees the stats, don't be misled by that. But as per the Broncos, I mean, we're going up against a tough defense. I think Bo Nix, it's his second year. These defenses are going to make adjustments. Sean Payton's got to kind of realize that Bo Nix ain't Drew Brees yet, or he may never be Drew Brees. That throwing the ball 40 times a game, maybe lean back on the run a little bit, set up play action to do it. Even though the game was 13-12 at one point, I never felt like we were going to lose the game. And even though Bo didn't play that great in the beginning, when it was time to make plays, I felt like he made the plays, especially to throw to Sutton. You
Yeah.
know, I just felt like when it was time to make the play, he made the play.
All right, kind of want to break down the passing game for the Broncos just a little bit more. Cortland Sutton had 9 targets for 6 receptions. He had 61 yards, and he had the only receiving touchdown. We had Troy Franklin with 6 targets, 4 receptions, 44 yards, and 0 touchdowns. Evan Ingram had 4 targets for 3 receptions for 21 yards. And then we utilized Bidet. He was more of our receiving back because he had the most receiving yards out of all of our running backs. Bidet finished with 6 targets, 2 receptions, 16 yards. So, you know,
Atrain, can I ask you one question? Do you know how much Pat played, the
uh,
rookie?
he just goose egged. I think I did not see much of him on the field,
You
and
don't know
I
his snap share or anything, do you?
no, and that was the thing. I thought that they would definitely utilize him a little bit more, but that wide receiver room we got is crowded. Southgate. I mean, and then we had Mims who had 4 targets for 3 catches and 12 yards. So
Yeah.
Sutton, Franklin, and Mims were getting all the receptions. It's hard to distribute the ball. I get that, right? But I would
Yeah.
have liked to seen a little bit more in the first game. But hey, it's the first game, right? Uh, we had
Atrain, one more question.
yeah,
Do you feel like we improved against the run?
yes.
Yeah, y'all stuffed us pretty bad, bro.
So Tony Pollard was having a for Tony Pollard having 18 attempts, 60 yards, and a turnover, no touchdowns. Tony Pollard was cooking in the beginning of that game. I was watching
Hmm.
it really close, and I'm like, damn, Pollard looks good, right? So my big thing too was the punt differential, right? So we punted the ball 3 times. The Titans punted the ball 8 times, right? So
Hmm.
there we go. That kind of leans in our favor. Like I said, you were 4 for 4 on field goals, Jimmy. Will Lutz was 2 for 2 on field goals for us. So the kickers hit all the field goals they needed to. You had 4, we had 2. The big thing was our defense, right? And this is what I think the Broncos are going to be able to carry that offense throughout the season, especially like early on. I feel like we're going to be in games just because we can. All right. The Broncos finished with 6 sacks, right? The 6 sacks was really, I feel like, the difference maker, right? Zach Allen had a sack. Stranad had a sack. Jonathan Cooper had a sack. Nick Benito had a sack. McMillan had a sack. And even Jonah Alice had a sack. So the key to this Denver team is going to be our defense, and I feel like that's what we saw today, right? Or we saw on Sunday was we saw that the Denver Broncos are going to be able to stay in games because of that defense. And I think the reason the Broncos offense struggled so much is because that Tennessee Titans defense is very underrated, Jimmy, and you should definitely keep your head up after this
Oh yeah.
because I love Jeffrey Simmons. You guys have
Yeah.
some good defensive players that are I mean, I wouldn't say they're no namers, but like obviously everyone knows who Jeffrey Simmons is, right? But
Yeah.
for you guys to cause Bo Nix to turn the ball over 3 times, even your special teams, right? The big takeaway for me on the Titans side is you won the special teams battle, right? Even though you
Yeah.
guys punted a lot more, you had that late return that got you a field goal late in the first half, right?
Yeah.
That was
Jim
a
had a crazy return. That was
that was a
nuts.
crazy return, and that flipped the game, right, to be that 12-13 spread right there, right? Well,
Yeah.
after that, the other thing is just like special teams. I don't know if it was more that Marvin Mims just muffed that punt, but you guys got the ball back on that. That was the 4 turnovers when Marvin Mims coughed up the ball,
Yeah.
right?
That was
And
crazy.
Marvin Mims was a Pro Bowler last year in kick return, right? Punt
Yeah.
and kick return. He was a Pro Bowler in the NFL. He made the Pro Bowl because he is good at doing that. He's fast, and you guys were able to capitalize. And I feel like you guys definitely won on special teams. The difference is, 2 solid defenses. I feel like we just when the fourth quarter rolled around, the Broncos got back to what they needed to do, and they ran the ball, and that is what was missing in the first half. The Broncos decided to have Bo Nix air it out a little bit too much, in my opinion. Regardless, I feel like Jimmy. I feel like this team is definitely going to pull some wins out, especially when you play that the Houston Texans. You guys are going to eat that offensive lineup.
Oh yeah. That'll be a good game for sure. I
A-Train,
CJ's
question for
already
you.
struggling.
Um, who impressed you the most rushing the quarterback?
So that was the thing, right? Nick Benito, Zach Allen. There's just so many big names on our defense. To tell you the truth, the thing that I like to see the most was Hufanga coming up and making tackles. At the line of scrimmage. In the backfield. Hufanga was all over that field, and I feel like with the key acquisitions that we had, with it being we went and we got a Dre Greenlaw. We went and we got some key pieces on defense, but Hufanga really came and balled out. Now that's the thing with the Broncos, right? I feel like the Broncos are in a weird spot right now because they're waiting for Dre Greenlaw to come back. And in this game, Evan Ingram, he has a calf injury now, right? So I feel like the Broncos are not fully healthy completely, and we haven't seen the best Broncos team yet, especially since it's early and Bo Nix didn't play the greatest. I'm just happy to see that the Broncos were able to run the ball on that good Titans defense, and they did just enough to win. It was a 12-20 win. Like I said, when you break all the stats down like I did, you're going to be like, "Oh, the Broncos ran away with this game." No, I was worried. I was worried up until the fourth quarter. I feel like we were definitely in the game the whole game, but I feel like the Tennessee Titans could have stole that one from us. And a lot of people said that on the app. They said that they were going to go and steal this game from us, and they very easily could because we saw some upsets in week one, right, around the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit talking because that was just my quick rundown of what I thought of the game. Obviously, like I said, I'm kind of a stats merchant, so I just broke the game down by what I saw eye test wise and what we saw from the stat sheet. Any last words from you guys before we end this episode?
You covered it for me, Atrain. And like I said, Jimmy, I definitely, I mean, if those receivers could hold on to the ball, I definitely see good things for Tennessee.
Yeah, Brian Callahan, you got till week 8 to impress me. Or I want you gone, brother, man. You got to figure it out, bro. We were in plus territory 7 times and didn't score once. Come on, dude. Come on.
Yep. Key
Jimmy, who do you got
drops.
next week?
The Rams.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be another tough game against a tough defense.
And here's the thing, Jimmy, is these are not division games, right?
No, no.
And you're playing good teams right off the rip, right? The Broncos playoff team, the Rams playoff team,
Playoffs.
right?
Yeah.
So keep your head up. We're early into the season. Like I said, you can steal some games against your division. Your division is not a powerhouse.
Mm,
I feel like you could very easily beat the Texans with that defense and with Jeffrey Simmons and that pass rush.
mm-hmm.
If Bo Nix had a 3 turnover game, I feel like CJ Stroud could definitely have a 3 turnover game as well.
Actually,
Yeah.
Jimmy, who got benched in the second half?
Snead got benched. We
Did you
limited
hear
Snead's
anything
rep.
about that?
It's just because his knee, his injury, like we don't want to
Okay,
overuse
so it
him.
was
So
no problems with the coach or nothing like that.
nah, he was limited all throughout training camp anyway. That's why we just kind of sat him. He was involved in the first half, and we just kind of benched. Honestly, I feel like that game was so close, and then as soon as like Jeff hit, like Cody Barton had homeboy wrapped up, and then as soon as Jeff pushed him over, I was like, yeah, well, there goes the game. We had a chance and we fumbled, and then I don't know, those last 3 throws, Cam Ward literally couldn't place the ball any better. Twice to Calvin Ridley. The one to Chig was kind of iffy, but I was like, ah, well, whatever. He did all he could do.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you need your star players to make impact plays late in that game just to try to tie it. At least get you in the situation to tie it. That Denver defense is stout, and I feel like the Titans will bounce back from this. I just feel like I said, you guys got a rough sledding. Cam Ward is not. This is going to be his next second career start against another powerful defense in the Rams. So I mean, you guys are making the right steps to be a good team, in my opinion, though, and you guys definitely could have stole one from us. It came in as the biggest spread of the week, right? So
Yeah,
we'd hit on that, right? You guys were supposed to get blown out of this game, right? And you guys
yeah.
went toe to toe with a playoff team. So, like I said, Tennessee Titans are going to be a force to be reckoned with. They're moving in the right direction. You guys have your franchise quarterback. Cam Ward is him. You could
Oh
tell
yeah.
just from how he plays that he is him, right?
Yeah, his
So,
mindset, everything, man. I knew coming into the season, like I was like, okay, this is the guy. Watching all the videos, how he like holds himself, how he presents himself. He's going to be good for the franchise. I just hope we do right by him, not like we did Marcus, where we just went on a coaching carousel spree.
yep. Alrighty, guys. That's all I got for this week.
Good show, guys.
Yep. Appreciate you
Yep.
guys.
Set up and not move.